Hello everyone, welcome to Beifeng Automotive Education. Today we will be discussing the operation of the DC charging system on the test bench and how to use it specifically. After turning on the power, the first thing we do is switch on the cooling fan and then turn it on. Immediately simulate the load. Next, we turn on the system switch that simulates the vehicle. Once the display automatically lights up, it will show the operating status of each system. The next step is to turn on the switch of the charging pile. After the charging pile starts working, the small display will show the symbol for the charging pile, and you should also observe the indicator lights. Blue indicates normal operating status. If an emergency occurs, you can immediately press the emergency stop switch. The red indicator light will turn on, and the equipment will stop running at this time. On the display, we can see that the required voltage is 500 volts. So what is the required voltage? It refers to the maximum voltage of the battery pack. Another thing we can see is that there is a simulated total battery voltage displayed next to it, which shows the current voltage of the battery in its discharge state. We can use the knob below to adjust the simulated voltage to reflect the current state of the battery. First, the value you set should be lower than the maximum battery voltage, which is the required voltage. Next, let's use the knob to make some adjustments. Adjust it to around 300 volts. Then we can plug in the charging gun to start the charging experiment. The DC charging gun is located on the right side of the test bench. Before removing the DC charging gun, press the button first, and only then can you take out the DC charging gun. Next, we connect the DC charging port to conduct the charging test. The charging section is located in the middle of the test bench. After we connect the charging box, you'll notice that the charging indicator light starts flashing, which means the charging pile has detected that the charging chamber is connected. Click the charging gun icon. At this point, the charging test begins. After clicking the icon to start charging, we can see that the data on the display screen begins to change. The charging gun connection status shows that the charging gun is connected, and the status displays handshaking. Once normal charging begins, the indicator light will turn green. The small display screen will show the process of charging the battery. This is the operating procedure for DC charging equipment. This device can also simulate working conditions under different loads. Currently, the charging voltage is 499 volts. The charging current is 3. Now we will increase the load and observe the changes in voltage and current. After increasing the load, we can see that the charging current has become 9.4 amps, while the charging voltage remains at 499 volts. What if I continue to increase the load? We can see that the voltage drops somewhat, while the current becomes about 10 amps. When a DC charging pile charges a power battery, there is a maximum current. As the power increases, the current will not rise further. Instead, the voltage will decrease to prevent excessive current from damaging the battery. The maximum charging current of our charging pile is currently 10 amps, but as we continue to increase the load, we can see that the current remains at 10 amps, while the voltage continues to drop. This is done to protect the battery. Finally, let's talk about the procedure for stopping the device. First, click the step button to stop charging. So here you can see the blue light starts flashing, indicating that it has stopped working. At the same time, we can see that the display screen has switched to standby mode. Now we can unplug the DC charging gun. Return it to its original position and turn off all the switches. Finally, turn off all the loads. Turn off the cooling fan, and the entire device will stop running. That concludes our introduction to the use and operation of the DC test bench. For more exciting content, please continue to follow Beifeng Automotive Education.